I'm really fascinated by the fact that not that you wrote these songs, because there are so many people out there who are great songwriters and write their music all the time. But I think I'm an insider, so this is a little bit of insider information that you wrote these songs years ago.
Yeah.
Like, these are not songs that you just sat down and you wrote recently. You've had these songs. And as your friend, I want to say, what took you so long?
Well, some of them were from when I was in my 20s and 30s, and Make a Difference is more recent. I have another one called The Rest of My Life, which is about if it takes you the rest of your life, which it seems like it almost has. But you know, it's the day job thing again. You have to keep a roof over your head and all. And now, at this time of my life, you know, I've taken time for myself and for my art. And to be honest with you, you know, Kimberley gifted me some time in the studio, which got me going again. And it's just been so exciting, and I'm really thrilled with the way it's turning out. I got a great producer, John Colbert. He's just fantastic as a musician, and he's very supportive, and you know, put a different spin, a different feel on all these songs. Some of them I had demoed before, and now they're all refreshed and new and ready to be heard by all of you out there.
Just the other day, our lovely Richard put up a song that you had dedicated to him, and it's called Till. But when I saw it and I saw Richard's picture there, I got little goosebumps. Oh. So tell us about that song. It's titled Till, right? Right,
so Till is not an original. Till is an old song. I believe it was from the 50s. And I chose that song to add. It's more or less a bonus track.
Yeah.
And I dedicated it to Richard because, you know, I myself had the COVID virus, and so did Richard. And I had it worse, and my husband really did nurse me and take care of me. So I dedicated that song when I went into the studio to my husband, Richard. And I was able to sing it in a more deep, loving way than I would have ever had been able to before. And so I did do a little video and put it on YouTube with the soundtrack of the recording. And everybody seems to really like it and feels the love.
That's great. That's great. So, I mean, you touched on it, you brought it up. Let's talk about it, because everybody's talking about it. COVID, right?
Yeah.
You were actually in the studio working during that time when you got the coronavirus. So, what was that like?
Well, you know, it was just so creepy because, I mean, I always had a joke, well, you know, let me get the flu because at least I'll be out of work, you know, for a week or whatever. Well, I'll tell you, I will never say that again. I can't describe how terrible it was for me. I mean, you can't sleep, you can't eat. I lost 20 pounds in 3 weeks. And like I said, if it wasn't for my husband, I just don't know where I would be today. But we nursed ourselves, we got ourselves together, and we overcame the virus.
Yeah.
But, you know, I did get it, and I was working on the album, and I said, watch me die before I finish this album. So, oh my God, you know, but here I am.
Here you are. I'll drink to that. I will drink to that.
All right.
Here's to life and living and overcoming the coronavirus and putting out an album.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What was the most exciting part of it all? Like putting this album, this body of work together that you've been sitting on for so long?
Well, I guess I'd have to say, you know, getting in the studio, finding a way to make your voice and make the instrumentation, everything come together with your original song. That was a challenge because I have demos, and I have demoed some of these songs before, and they didn't seem to have the magic I was looking for.
Okay.
So again, bringing John Colbert, this producer that really has a sense of the sound of my voice, the character of the songs,
right.
Bringing the right instrumentation in, and it just that was the biggest thing, to actually hear myself sound like a recording artist for the first time.
So at what point in the process was that?
It was more or less right away.
Okay.
And that's when I knew that I had found the right person. And J.C. Sentalis, the owner of Raw Recording Studio, he's an angel in my eyes, that he hooked me up with John.
John, yeah.
And then everything just went into flux. I mean, it just, one song after the next. Sometimes we would be working on 2 songs because you're finishing up one and then you're going on to the other. Then, you know, John brought in background singers for certain songs, and it just, I heard the magic and for the first time in my life. And I'm so thrilled.
Ken has a Kickstarter, and the link is below. If you want to hear some samples from Ken's album, you go to kenbascue.com.
Right.
And there are samples of 4 tracks on the website. Check it out. We're going to post the Kickstarter link here.
Right.
So.
I'm 63 this year, so I mean, just the thought of the fact that I'm older and doing something that I dreamed of my whole life, and it's finally coming to fruition and it's really making sense. It makes me realize that it doesn't really matter what age you are. You know, you just have to have the heart and the belief, and people will take interest, and that's what's happening.
Yeah. It's all about being inspired, and it's all about, you know, not losing sight of the dream. But it's also about the people around you. You know, you just, you know, said something about me, which is great. But I'm just a little piece of your puzzle. You have 3 brothers, right? That are kind of a bigger piece of this puzzle. And one of them particularly has taken an interest in this project. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I guess, well, I'll start with when we were all younger, we lost our parents in a car accident, which I did talk about on the show, on The Doctor and the Diva. And so, you know, it's almost like a bear, you know, a bear with baby cubs. Once my parents got killed, we all stuck together and we became like inseparable. And I'm the eldest of the 4 of us.
Right.
So my youngest brother, Robert, has such a love for music. My mom sang and had a fantastic, beautiful voice and talent. And so none of my brothers sing particularly, but I do, and I write. So my youngest brother has taken such an interest in me, and he's become adamant about the way the songs are coming out. And if there's a note that's not exactly 100% right on, and he's also a graduate of Parsons Art School, so he has taken over the whole project of the look of the album, the photography, and my other brother Clyde is a photographer. He's taken photographs. So it's really, and my brother Dean is very supportive, so it's really almost like a family affair.
It's a family affair, which I love. I think that is a really sweet part of this story, and I wanted to make sure that people understood, you know, that family dynamic. You know, there's 4 brothers, and you guys all have a very special relationship, and, you know, Robert, you know, they've all been there from the beginning of you singing, so they are watching this, you know, unfold just, and probably in awe of it just the way, as much as you are, you know? Like, because they've been there, you know? They're like, oh, you've been talking about this, you know, for years, you've been singing, you know? And so now it's like, it's here. What do you say to somebody out there who's sitting at home and they're sitting on that book, or they're sitting on that song, or they're sitting on, you know, that idea that they have, that they've not done anything with, you know, in a long time? What would you say to them?
Well, I guess I'd have to be really deeply honest and say, you know, if God made us and God gave us a gift, then it's our responsibility to bring it out and share it with the world. And it's going to change somebody. It may be their emotions, maybe it's a song that it touches them, or whatever it is. If you're an artist, your artwork, people will look at it and be moved. So it's your responsibility, and I've been chipping away at this for all my life, and finally I'm bringing it out. Now, I hope you love it, but even if you don't, I love it, and I'm so excited. But that's what it is. You have to share your talent and your gifts, whatever it is.
That's so true. That's so true. And you know, the most important part for me that you just said is, it doesn't matter if everybody else loves it. I think we get so caught up in everybody loving it. everybody's not gonna love it, and you
Yeah.
don't need everybody to love it.
Right.
As long as it feels right and good to you, and you love it, it's gonna resonate with somebody. That's the one thing I've learned. No
Right.
matter what you do, you know, I have songs on my albums that I don't even like, and people are like, "Oh my God, that's my favorite song." I'm like, "Really? You like that one?" But when you do something from your heart, it will resonate. So that's the part that I love, that you are doing this because you love it. You are doing this because it's in your heart. They're going to love it.
Thank
So
you.
I haven't asked you this yet,
Okay.
but I'm going to. And I
right.
said that was my last question,
All right.
but it's not.
Okay.
What's your favorite song on the project?
Oh, well, you know what everybody says it. Oh, these are my babies, and I love all my babies
Your
equally.
10 little babies?
Yeah, I mean, vocally, I would have to say probably I love, because it was the last song I recorded, and of course, you evolve each song, makes you more relaxed. But I love Till because, again, I sang it for my husband as a devotion to him. But In Memory of You, I think In Memory of You has a lot of meaning. I love that song. I really love them all, and even when I have the CD made up and all that, I love my songs so much. I don't even really want to give the CDs to anybody else. I just want to sit and look on all the pile of them myself. I know it sounds crazy.
Well, he's not going to do that, because if you donate to his Kickstarter, you get an album, and then there's also a couple of other things.
And
What are they?
incentives, yeah. So we're doing the album.